Last week, Janice shared what it was like to be a flight stewardess back in the 1970s and how things changed over the years. Welcome back to Skyward, the podcast that brings you behind the scenes of the aviation and aerospace industry. I'm pilot Mercedes, and we're joined again by Janice Ward, a former flight attendant of Air Canada. Now, jumping right back in where we left off for part 2 of Janice's story.
The captain has turned on the seatbelt light. Please take your seat and fasten your seatbelts. Thank you.
What's one task or responsibility you had back then that might surprise people today?
I think there'd be quite a few tasks and responsibilities that would surprise people. I mentioned that some of the aircrafts were a lot smaller then.
Yeah.
The rack above where you put your coats, that wasn't closed. It was an open rack.
Okay.
They didn't have bins that closed to put your luggage in.
Oh,
so all that went up there were coats. So people would board and they'd have their coats on their lap for us to take, fold, and put up above for them.
Interesting. So there was no carry-on bags that went above or anything like that?
Bags were under the seat in front of you.
And that was it?
And that was that.
Okay.
So I think the surprising thing was that the flight attendants went through the aisle.
Yeah,
you had coats up for them, and then on landing, we'd go through the aisle and take coats back down.
So people couldn't just come. They couldn't just stand up and grab like we do now. We grab our bag and go. You have to wait. You'd have to sit. Be given your coat.
But we would be doing that as we're taxiing. So it's safety was definitely. Definitely changed over the years as well.
What else would be different that you can think of?
Taking visitors up to the cockpit was a very popular thing. Those that were interested and asked, is there any way we can see the cockpit? It was certainly permitted as long as the captain was game. We also used to go through and take children, we'd round them up, kind of like the Pied Piper.
Really?
He'd say, do you want to go and visit the captain? And he would sign a little postcard for them and explain some of the...
fun.
Which I'm sure inspired a lot of children
Absolutely.
to perhaps go into aviation because it was very interesting to learn about how the airplane works a little bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's pretty special memory.
Now that changed definitely after 9/11. And now the doors are locked, and that would be definitely a big change. And I think that people would be surprised that you could go and visit pilots just like that.
So I didn't even think about 9/11 because that was definitely the catalyst for a lot of safety regulations and changes and stuff like that. What were some other changes that you saw immediately happening after 9/11 that you used to be able to do?
Well, even for us.
Yeah.
We used to go up and chat with them all the time and, bring them up another cup of coffee. And now it was, it was, you had to call first and, make sure the door was, somebody would have to be there to let you in. The door is totally locked.
Okay.
Yeah, so that definitely is, and it's, so we've lost that contact with the pilots that we used to have. So it's a little bit different then. Then it was like they were like going up, chatting with them, and making sure they were comfortable up there.
Did anything change between your relationship between other stewardesses or even stewardess to passenger?
Well, definitely,
any other safety or things that you had to do?
Definitely, we had to be a lot more aware of passengers' behaviors, just being a lot more cautious. And I think that was a big thing. So, part of the safety briefings would be to be on the alert for anything that was unusual with passenger behavior. So, a lot of that did change. It wasn't that relaxed.
No,
and as much. I mean, I'm sure they still have a lot of fun on their flights.
Mm-hmm. But it's definitely a different atmosphere.
Definitely, yeah.
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 Yeah. it's cool to hear the stories. It's sad to hear certain things get lost
Yeah.
kind of in the transitions because of time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. And I think the smoking was also a big change, that people wouldn't realize that you
Well,
could
that was
smoke.
a big cultural
That's
change. Besides
yeah.
aircraft, it just, I mean, we still have smoking around today, but
Oh, yeah.
not in the same amount or intensity
Exactly.
as it used to
Well,
be.
even in restaurants, I mean, you used to see
Yeah, I
that in
didn't think about that
restaurants.
either.
Yeah. So that's all changed. And, for a good thing,
Yeah.
in my opinion, anyway.
At least health-wise, yes.
Health-wise, definitely. And comfort, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, I already asked that one. Can you share a story of a passenger interaction that really captures what it was like to work in when you first got the job, and maybe any other stories throughout near the end of your career?
Passenger interaction. Yeah, interaction was always, I think, I've always found that we had a good rapport with passengers, and I think they really enjoyed it. And on longer flights, if you had time, you could chat with them. You'd meet people from all walks of life, from entertainers, actors. I did a lot of the LA turnarounds, and
Oh,
so I'd
so I
meet a
bet you,
lot.
yeah,
I'd
you
meet a
got to,
lot of celebrities, politicians, um, from all walks of life. So you got chatting with them, and I think one that I mean, there are many that stick out in my memory that I really enjoyed. But I had, and I don't know if she was a Canadian singer-songwriter, Sass Jordan.
okay.
And she was on the LA flight, and we had such a good conversation. She was so pleasant. She was having a concert at the Roy Thompson Hall, and invited me to come to
Oh,
see
that's
so that was
cool.
kind of like a
Yeah.
nice gift. Not that we accepted tips, but I certainly accepted going to her concert, and it was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
So I think that's what I enjoyed the most, was meeting people from the different walks of life, and whether they were well known or they were just your ordinary. I mean, we had sometimes police on taking prisoners.
Oh, really? What was
Yeah.
that like?
Well, that was they had to be careful. So they were always boarded first
Okay.
onto the flight, and so most passengers weren't aware that they were on board.
Okay. I'm
But
assuming they wore just regular clothes and stuff like
yeah,
that, so people couldn't
yes, yeah,
notice.
that's right. Yeah, unless they happen to see the handcuffs.
Yeah.
But just even just talking to them was very interesting. Not that they could have a big conversation, because they had that responsible job.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, no, I think that was probably the glamour, if you will, of it. I think that was kind of a nice part of the job,
Yeah,
and interesting.
definitely
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever have any, so did you ever, you mentioned emergencies. You had to learn these emergency procedures. What were some emergencies that you had to deal with?
Well, in the early days, bomb threats were a thing, and it
Oh,
wasn't. It's not like it was a common thing, but
right.
you did get, and we did have a bomb threat. I remember flying to the East Coast, and there was a bomb threat, and you had to take them all serious, even if it was
Of course.
an obvious, because one was like New Year's Eve, and I thought, really, but we had to take them serious anyway. So we had to land in a unscheduled landing, and have everyone get off, have the baggage checked. It was like a real inconvenience. So that was, perhaps one thing. I never had to have I never did an emergency landing, and I never had a flight where we lost oxygen, but those things did happen on flights. There have been births on flights. I never had to deal with that, fortunately.
Oh, okay.
There are many things. Heart attacks, yes, I did have that. And I actually had one passenger pass away on a flight.
Oh,
He
that's
was
horrible.
actually he was actually en route to Chicago to the Mayo Clinic there. He was he wasn't well, but he had a nurse attendant with him.
Okay.
And unfortunately, he passed away en route. So, and I think that was from Montreal to Chicago. We had to land in Toronto to have him taken off, because if you go into the States with a deceased person,
Yeah.
the whole aircraft could be impounded. So we landed in Toronto, had him taken off, and then we continued our
Okay.
route. But
Oh
it
my
was
goodness.
kind of a funny feeling to have somebody actually
Yeah.
deceased on the flight.
Check in, but not
Yeah,
check
nobody
out.
knew. Passengers
Okay.
didn't know. They just put kind of a blanket up, and as if you were sleeping. So
Yeah.
it wasn't an obvious thing.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
At least keeps a little bit
I
of
think
decency for
that's
them.
right. I think
Yeah.
that's probably one of the. But yeah, giving oxygen, air sickness was kind of a common thing in the earlier days, and ear problems. A lot of people with ear problems because of sinus problems, or just
the
the
pressure and stuff like that.
pressurization that they weren't used to.
Yeah.
And I think probably the newer aircrafts don't have as much problem with that. So I don't think people experience it.
They keep the pressure at a certain altitude pressure,
right.
per se. So maybe that's a little bit more adjusted than it was back then.
Right. And I think the ventilation and everything is probably much better than it used to be too.
Well, I hope we're getting better and better.
Well, we are, because don't we just love to travel by airplane?
Of course. I mean, I do. I absolutely love it. It beats the traffic to Toronto. I tell you that.
Absolutely.
I'll fly any day.
Me too. Oh, yeah. So, no,
even a short flight.
It's still the safest form of travel, I believe.
Yeah.
And very comfortable.
Oh, it is. It's very comfortable.
Very comfortable, yeah.
We have these different crashes and stuff like that, but in the end of the day, it's still safer than a car, actually.
Yes. How many crashes do you hear about in an airplane compared to every morning on the 401?
Yeah, like nonstop. It's unfortunately not getting better.
No, not at all. Scary out there.
Oh yeah. You're trying to stay safe, but then you're looking around, making sure you don't hit anybody and nobody hits you. And you have cell phones. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, so what was it like transitioning to having cell phones on an aircraft? Because you didn't really have to deal with that in the 70s.
No, that's true.
Because now you have to put your phone on airplane mode before you take off and all of that. Were you part of that transition and
yes, we did
growth
have
era?
to tell them to, make sure their phones were off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if the earlier phones had the airplane mode, but they did have to turn them off. Yeah.
Okay.
They had to actually make sure they were off. But
so was that as soon as they came out, as soon as that kind of industry was building up and people were starting to have cell phones?
It became part of the announcement that
immediately
all electronic devices should be turned off.
So there was no transition where there was like people on their phones and stuff like that. It was immediately, as soon as that technology came out, you still have to turn this right off.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then it changed, of course, where you could, after the seatbelt sign, once you're up in the air, you could.
Technology advances, announcements change.
And now you've got Wi-Fi and everything else, movies. Like, we didn't have movies in the early days either, so entertaining was magazines and newspapers or books. So that was another role on the ground. It was passing out newspapers to everybody.
No way.
Yes, we had a huge stack of newspapers.
So did you have a specific newspaper that you're handing out? Like, say, like New York Times?
We offered choices.
Oh.
It would be out of Toronto. It would be the Toronto Star and the Globe and Mail and Financial Post. And you'd have all three of them on your heart.
You'd be like, which one would you like? Oh, that's so cool, though.
And it wasn't just in first class. It could be all the way through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of fun.
That was the entertainment. Or unless they brought their book or they actually talked to each other, which was now
Heaven forbid to talk to another human being.
It's getting more difficult, isn't it?
A little bit. I mean, I can even attest for myself. Sometimes, depending who's next to me, I'm like, I don't know, just don't talk to me. I'm in my zone. I'm doing my thing. And I'm sure they're thinking the same thing. They
I
put
think
their
so,
headphones
too.
on. It's kind of like this invisible, do not touch me.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, I wonder who I'm sitting next to on
Yeah.
this flight. Oh, I
But
don't have
yeah,
to talk.
sometimes it is nice to talk to a fellow passenger because you never know what their story is.
Exactly. And everybody has one.
Absolutely. What was it like for kids?
Kids, we had little kitty packages we'd hand out with
Aw.
puzzles and plastic little airplanes, and as I said, the postcards, which often the captain would sign for them.
Yeah.
And we kept them busy. The kids were fun.
Yeah?
Kids were fun on the flight.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so wonderful.
Yeah.
Were they allowed to like run up and down?
Well, they
It's-
didn't, because
okay.
parents seemed to keep them
Parenting was a
behaved.
little bit different.
It was a little different, yes.
We're also in a
There
different
were
age for
actually
that too.
rules. There was actually
Okay.
rules from the parents.
From the parents.
From the parents.
So you didn't actually have to
We didn't have
enact
to.
any.
We didn't have to do too much. Most parents
Okay.
made their children respect that they were
Mm-hmm.
somewhere where they had to behave.
Okay.
So that made it
It was
easy for us.
yeah. Totally different times there.
You know,
Did you see that transition as well, even into the 90s and
Yeah,
2000s?
Yes, I did see some parents that didn't seem to know what to do with their kids on a
Yeah.
flight, and sometimes we would help if the child would let us. We would kind of talk to them and maybe take them for a little walk up the aisle.
Yeah.
Or actually, I remember having a little boy. Can you help me pick up? You hold this
Aw.
bag, and they can put their cup in that.
Oh,
And he was so pleased that
He got to help
got to help.
out. Oh, that's so sweet.
Crying babies, yeah.
Yeah.
Give mom's getting. I can see that she's getting a little
Oh.
upset here. Here, will she come to me? I'll hold her for a while,
Oh,
which was kind of fun.
Yeah. What was the youngest passenger that you had? Obviously, baby.
Oh, babies, yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
but what would be the youngest
The
baby
youngest
that you
one? Well,
experienced on a flight?
Probably a month. Yeah,
That's pretty young.
that's pretty young.
That's
yeah.
very young.
Going to take the new baby to see grandma.
Oh,
Reason for the travel.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think there were too many problems with children on board.
Well, that's really nice to
Yeah,
hear.
it's
It sounds like a kind of a magical experience.
I know, right?
Yeah, it just sounds like. I mean, I love travel and everything like that. I remember getting those kind of little packages even when I was a kid.
Yes,
They'd
okay.
give you like maybe a drawing book or something like that. You get to do a little thing, or even like a little figurine or
Right, yeah. The
something.
little airplane.
Yeah.
Little wings, and they had the little plastic wings they
Yeah.
could put on them. And, yeah.
Oh, but it's just
And that's a memory. I would imagine
Exactly.
that some of the kids maybe even have kept them. And as
I mean, I would hope so, because
Yeah.
it's not the same now, but
No.
it's very cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it just made air travel fun, and that's what you wanted. I think that's what the company wanted for people to have a good travel experience.
Mhm.
And your holiday should start right when the
Right,
flight
as soon as you step
as soon
on
as
the
you
flight.
step on board.
Yeah. Definitely different times just across the aviation industry,
I think so.
unless you're kind of like first class and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a different distinction. Was there that big of a distinction back in the day
What,
between first class,
first class
and
economy?
yeah.
Well, the service, definitely. Mind you, the economy class was offered a lot. Meal choices on all flights. We even served hot meals to Ottawa, which is a very
Wow.
fast flight.
Yeah, that's a very short
Now,
flight.
that's where the glamour kind of changed when you're picking up trays on a short flight.
You're trying to. Okay, thank you. You finish and go.
It didn't look quite so glamorous then, but yeah, no. But in first class, the service was exquisite, and I believe it still is. On the long flights, Air Canada definitely has a reputation for fine service. But that would lead me into one of your questions about something that happened on a flight that
Yeah.
that was probably makes me smile.
Yeah.
And there were many things, but
I'm sure there were.
speaking of service, we used to carve the roast beef. We had a long
You
trolley.
carved roast beef on an aircraft.
On an aircraft, yes.
Oh my goodness.
So it was a presentation. Presentation was everything. That's where the training on service standards was all about finesse and how to hold the wine, how to present things. Everything was presented.
It sounds like you also learned how to be kind of a chef in a way.
Well, in a way, yes. So we're out in the aisle, and I'm carving the roast beef, and we hit a bit of a bump, and the roast slipped off the carving board onto the floor. So I quickly picked it up and put it back on. Excuse us, we'll be right back. We have another roast. When we got back into the galley, of course, we didn't actually have another roast. So I had to clean it off and flip it over, put it back on the carving board, and head back out.
Here's my second roast.
So that was like, using a little discretion to save the day. And it makes me laugh when I think of it. They never knew the difference. So that was a good thing.
You cleaned it off and everything.
I
so
did, absolutely.
There's no dust anymore. And I'm sure they live to tell the tale.
Well, they never knew the difference, but I live to tell the tale.
Oh,
that is one of the. I mean, there are many things that make me smile about things.
I mean, I'm just fascinated. You had an actual roast that you were carving on an aircraft.
Right?
Now you get
with
like
the big carving knife.
Oh, like now you get these little
anymore.
Microwave kind of meals, and they kind of like, here you go, and then you unwrap it yourself.
And you unwrap,
Yeah.
Well,
I'm trying to imagine actually seeing like a whole beef on your cart, being like, would you like some?
Yeah. And how many potatoes would you like?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was all separate. The vegetables were all separate. And
like
then
full catering, like
catering.
Live catering.
Oh, and the dessert trolley.
Ooh, you got to tell me about the desserts.
Well,
then.
it was a cake, usually a beautiful cake.
Oh my goodness.
And then choices with fruit and cheese. And it was like a whole...
That sounds so nice.
Presentation, yeah.
So that was per every flight? Like, do you know?
It was on the longer flights.
Okay.
Yeah. So that would be like the overseas flights.
Mm-hmm.
Going to London or Paris or...
Yeah. Aviation has definitely changed.
It has.
Like, just besides Air Canada, like everywhere.
Yeah.
The expectations have totally
changed.
Well,
the I think people's expectations are still there. They're just not getting what they're expecting.
Yeah, I kind of bring my own food with me now. I'm like, yeah, it's okay. This food court stuff is better. Well, and dietary restrictions. Did people have as many dietary restrictions back then?
Not as they do now, but there were, definitely vegetarians. Then, and sometimes, salt-free. You didn't see gluten-free wasn't as popular as it is now, but diabetic was probably one of the more, and kosher meals. Kosher meals were catered to.
Okay.
And there were those.
So
there were definitely meal choices. And on certain flights, there were more than on other flights where you didn't hardly have any.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Well, I'd love for you to tell me about this picture down here.
So this is Dreams Take Flight, which Air Canada does every year. And they take from, also Winnipeg does it, Toronto does it. We take groups of children down their dream to go to Florida, to Disney.
Wow.
And they go down for the day, and Air Canada volunteers the aircraft, and all the captain, the pilots, and the crew are all volunteers.
Wow.
And they take these children down, and quite a few. I think we had the last flight, which was just in May, we took 180. Well, I didn't do the flight, but I met them. I do volunteer to either see them off or meet them, and I love seeing the excitement these kids have. And they get a little backpack for the day.
Special experience.
It is
for them.
Really, I'm sure they never forget it.
And I bet it's a special experience for you too, just being able to see their excitement and
exactly.
So they actually fly from Toronto all the way down to Florida for the day.
For the day. So they leave early in the morning.
I bet.
And they're all excited. And when they come back at night,
They're all
which
sleepy.
actually comes in at about after midnight, they are so tired.
Oh, I bet.
But
That's
there's
a
still
long
a lot
day.
of them are still so excited about it. And the
Yeah.
last one asked the little guy, how many rides did you get to go on? He said 13.
Oh, that's a
That
good
was
number.
amazing.
That's a very good number.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so
And he
special.
said, and I'm not tired at all.
So what's the age range for these kind of flights then?
From, I'm not sure the youngest, I think is 7. I don't think there's any under 6. Anyway, 7 to 12.
Okay.
12 is generally the cutoff there.
Okay. Well, that's a good age range.
It
A
is.
fantastic age
Yeah.
for Disney. I mean, I still love Disney myself, but
Oh, don't we all? Don't we all?
I don't think I'm ever growing out of that one.
I know.
But such a cool experience for Air Canada to do. And
Yeah.
you said they do it every year?
Every year.
Every year.
Dreams take flight.
Dreams take flight. I love it. And you volunteer every single year.
Yes.
What do you know when they started this?
Oh, that is a good question. It seems to, because I've been retired for 20 years, and we were doing them. It's probably been going for, I would say, 30 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure the exact date.
Because it didn't. I'm guessing it didn't start when you started flying with Air Canada.
Not when we started. No.
No. So
it became a thing.
It became a
Yeah.
thing. That's very cool.
Mhm.
That's so special. I love
is.
it.
Yeah, and a lot of people are involved in it, and it takes a lot of organization and
I bet. So
volunteers,
is it
definitely
one
volunteers.
child and one parent that goes together, or
Actually, the
how
parents,
does it work?
it's not necessarily a parent that goes. There's
Oh.
but there are definitely attendants. For some of the children need attendants, and they do have a group. They might have a group assigned to them. So I'm not sure how many are in the group. Maybe 6 the most,
Okay.
because they've got to keep track of these kids in Disney. That would be quite
Yeah.
a challenge.
And how do they kind of reach out or sign up for this? Do they get picked, or do you know how that
The
kinda
volunteers.
works? Well, not the volunteers,
the
but
children.
for the children.
Usually,
is it
social workers
Okay.
recommend children that would benefit from such a trip.
Okay.
So they're either physically or there's a challenge in their life. So yeah, so they're picked.
Okay.
And they have to apply. Somebody applies for them, and then they get it chosen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know. It's really good. I think it's a
Yeah.
really good thing to do.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, and then we have this other picture here
Yeah, that one.
with
That was an anniversary, the 65th anniversary of Air Canada, and they painted this aircraft, and all the employee names are in this leaf on both sides.
it says here the red maple leaf on the body of the plane is made of more than 40,000 names of employees and retirees. And this little line here is where your name is.
There's my name right there.
Well, that is so cool. So they gave it out to every single person whose name was added, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so unique. And obviously 2 years before you retired.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I've got my name on a plane for a while.
For a while. I'm guessing
Until
it's
they
not...
repainted it.
Yeah. Either it's not flying anymore or it's been repainted.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so special. That's a very cool gift.
It is.
Yeah.
Another good memory.
Did you take it out of a frame to add it to this?
You're right, I did.
Well, thank you. It's so nice to see it. Because it looks like it's something that you would frame.
There are some things in life you frame.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I think most of these pictures you would keep framed. Oh my goodness. All right, to wrap up, what's one memory from your early days that still makes you smile or laugh when you think about it? Was it the roast beef?
That was the roast
Okay.
beef. That had to be the roast beef.
Did you ever have a quirky passenger or a wild layover
Oh, wow.
that you can think about?
I can think about.
What? Okay, don't want to. What stays at those locations? What happens stays.
We had a lot of fun, whether we were in by the pool in Jamaica, or
Ooh.
Oktoberfest in Munich, or
Oh my
shopping in
goodness.
London.
It sounds like the
And
dream.
It was a dream. Yeah. And yeah, I highly recommend it to try. Yeah, definitely very good memories of good times. So quirky, yeah, they were all, there was always a good memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously things have changed, but what would...
The only bad memory would be 9/11 when we were stuck in, I happened to
Were
be in
you
London. I was in
okay.
London at the time.
Before we wrap up and I ask the last question, were you flying when that happened?
I was. I
Okay,
actually,
you're on duty.
we got into London that morning, and I went to my room in the hotel and turned on the TV, and it said live. It was a news program, and it was showing this aircraft flying into a building. I thought,
Oh my goodness.
It must be a movie. But then it said live in the corner. So I phoned my good friend that we were flying together, and I said, "You got to turn on the TV. I think this is real." So we had just got in before this happened, and then of course everything got closed down, and we stayed, I think, 3 days in London.
Wow.
Because nothing was flying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite and just so surreal that kind of thing would happen. So that was like the huge change to aviation. From all the security changed, what you can bring with you, being checked, going through metal detectors. I mean, it was just all so different from what it used to be, where
I'm
you could
guessing you
just
didn't have to go through metal detectors then
Not before, no.
That's interesting, because I don't know a time without them.
I know. Yeah, you never will either.
No. It'll only get more.
No, you checked in for your flight and you went to your gate and yeah, it's totally different. And now it's line up for security, line up for, yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah.
It's a shame, but that's life.
Yeah.
Ever-changing.
Ever-changing, and certain things you can't change.
That's right, exactly.
What would be some advice that you would give to someone that would be interested in becoming a flight attendant today?
My advice would be look forward to an adventure. Every flight will be different, which is kind of nice. Prepare yourself by perhaps studying another language.
Yeah.
I think that would be very important. Take care of yourself. Practice dealing with people. I think it's getting more difficult for a lot of young people. Knowing how to deal with people face to face. So I think that's important. People skills, very important. Study some geography. Make sure you know a little bit of
that could help.
What the world is, where places are. I think that would be very important. And just have a very positive attitude. And like people, of course. You have to like people.
Yeah, it's a little hard if you don't like people and you have to interact with them face to face every single day.
That would be hard. But I think anyone that would apply would have to like more than just travel. I think they would have to like dealing with people.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I know I said it was the last question, but I thought of another question. So I might as well ask it. I'm guessing you got pregnant while you were a flight stewardess.
I did, yes.
What was that like?
That was actually another bit of a challenge too, because a lot of the pilots did not like the idea that the flight attendant they'd have a flight attendant that was pregnant on the flight. So some pilots had a hard time with it, and it seemed to be because they were the captain of the plane. They could have you taken off.
Really?
Because they didn't agree with the policy of allowing you to travel. But most of them were very good with it. And believe me, most pregnant women feel very good and energetic. So it wasn't stopping any. We actually had a uniform for it, and it was comfortable. And the only thing is smoking was still around at that time. So I did have to work into smoke, and I That did concern me. I was very concerned about breathing smoke when I was pregnant.
So how long did you work until when?
I think usually around 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, 6, 7 months.
Which is still pretty far along.
Yeah, it was actually.
But you were able to do all the duties you needed to do and everything.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. I think anyone that wasn't feeling well would not have continued. They would have taken a leave earlier. But you were only allowed so much time after the baby, like the amount of time. And I can't really actually remember how much time
you took off
that you could take off.
Because now I think it's about a year and a half.
Yeah, there is an amount of time, and I'm not sure exactly how much it is, but I wanted more time after the baby was born, so it worked out well.
Yeah,
and it worked out well.
Did you stay around a year off of duty? Or?
Yes, about 10 months with the first one, and about about the same for the second one. And fortunately, my husband was very good with, filling in. So when I did go back to work, we kind of worked opposite, so that he could.
That's good.
He could take care of the kids while I was away.
Oh,
so I didn't have to worry too much about daycare and leaving them with just total strangers.
Yeah.
So it worked out well.
That's fantastic.
And our schedules were such that you weren't away that much. Maybe once a week you were away for a period, but in the scheme of things, you were home a lot.
Which is great.
Which was good.
Yeah. And obviously you had enough seniority at that point as well.
That's right. Yeah. Seniority made a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. So it works.
Yeah. It does work. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a blast.
I've actually enjoyed it very much.
Oh, yeah. I'm so glad. I want you to have fun.
Always.
Oh, thank you so much.
Life's about.
Life is about having fun and keep on learning.
Definitely.
I don't know about you, but those were some crazy amazing stories from Janice. I learned so much about what it was like to be a flight attendant back in those days and the battles that they faced to get where we are now. A big thank you to Janice for coming on. Let me know in the comments what surprised you the most or what inspired you the most about this episode. I hope you learned something, and I hope you're leaving inspired, just like I am. I'll see you on the next episode of Skyward. Sound Skies. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend. To those listening on Apple, Spotify, or other listening platforms, please remember to follow and hit the notification button so you'll never miss an episode. Check out the Skyward YouTube channel to watch the video recording of each episode. Don't forget to follow on all social media platforms to stay up to date. Lastly, if you have a story or know someone who does from the aviation aerospace industry, email the podcast at info@skywardpodcast.com. Your support means the world. Thank you so much for tuning in.